Now to the other major legal development of the day that never reached that courthouse. A deal struck between the Chiefs and attorneys for the family of a young girl critically injured last February. The crash involving former Chiefs assistant coach Britt Reid, who slammed into two cars near the sports complex just 3 days before the Super Bowl. Reid charged with a DWI. Fox 4's Sean McDowell live near where the crash happened with more on today's civil agreement to provide for her care now and in the future. Sean?
And John, here is a curious point of that agreement. The statement issued by the family of that young girl, Ariel Young, was very specific and precise not to call this a settlement because that would imply that a lawsuit had been filed in this case. The agreement will cover Young's medical care. It will also provide financial expenses for her. She was only 5 years old at the time of that crash, which happened a short distance from where I am now. That was February 4th, by the way, and Young suffered a traumatic brain injury in that car crash. Reid's blood alcohol level at the time of that crash was 0.113. In that statement, Young's family attorney, Tom Porto, said the two parties had agreed to a care plan that will provide her with solid care as well as financial stability. The little girl was inside one of the two cars that Reid slammed into on the side of I-435 near the Truman Sports Complex. Police reports say Reid hit the two cars, which were on the shoulder of the freeway at the time. The announcement doesn't get specific as to money involved in the care plan or what care exactly Ariel will receive for her traumatic brain injury. We sat down with trial attorney James Stigall this afternoon. His firm, Stigall Whitworth, is not involved in this case. Stigall says both sides had their reasoning for wanting to come to terms before a jury got involved.
You have a case with a very strong emotional or jury appeal, we call it. You have a very young girl, 5-year-old, serious injuries, traumatic brain injury, that you are going to get a very strong emotional response from a jury. The result of that is the defendant had to be concerned of a very large verdict being returned by a jury.
Now, Britt Reid is no longer employed by the Kansas City Chiefs football club. Stigall also mentioned control of this agreement and why it was probably important to both sides in this case to get things ironed out before it went all the way to trial. Control is often taken away as far as agreements when a judge or a jury gets involved in cases like this one. And Stigall says that given the circumstances, this might be the best possible outcome for both sides. By the way, Reid is due back in a courtroom on those drunk driving charges. His next appearance isn't scheduled until April 18th. Sean McDowell, Fox 4, working for you.